There's been a lot in the news lately about how the settlement of a national lawsuit is going to change the way that realtors behave in the market. Well, here in Indiana, that change starts next month. So I wanted to share something about how that's going to change for sellers. Now, in the past 30 years that I've been selling real estate, it was generally true that a seller paid an approximate 6% commission to sell their house. Half of that was kept by the listing agent, and the other half was earmarked for the buyer's agent. Well, that's going to change. Starting next month, listing agents have to make it explicitly clear to sellers that that commission is negotiable and that the seller is under no obligation to pay the buyer's agent commission. So does that mean sellers are now only going to pay 3% and buyers will have to pay for their own realtor, and then perhaps even if they can't afford that, go unrepresented? Well, no, I don't think that's going to happen. And I don't think it's going to happen very often because most buyers can't afford to go unrepresented and they can't afford to pay that additional 3%. So what I think is going to happen most often is buyers will put in their purchase agreements when they want to buy a house a little line that says seller will pay buyer's agent commission in the amount of some percentage or some amount of money. And quite frankly, I don't think it will even get that far before it's defined. Because what I think is going to happen is that buyer's agents are going to call me before they ever go to see your house. And they're going to ask, Kurt, is your seller willing to pay my real estate commission? And if the answer is no, I think many buyers simply won't come see the house because they can't afford to come see the house because they can't afford to pay that additional 3% on their own. So there's another reason that a seller would want to pay that commission, not just to make their house competitive, but also to have a seamless transaction. The worst transactions I've been involved in my career are those in which a buyer or seller refuse to be represented. It's a little like somebody saying, hey, I'm in a lawsuit, but I'm going to represent myself in court. There's so much you need to know in that specific industry and in that specific field that it's really not a wise thing to try to represent yourself or to go unrepresented. So for that reason, I think most sellers, smart sellers, are going to continue to offer to pay that buyer's agent commission, and they're just going to roll that cost into the price of their home, which is the way it has always been anyway. If you'd like to know more about this, feel free to send me a private message. I'd be happy to have a phone call or meet with you to discuss it in more detail.